Dan, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is it right now?
35 degrees.
Oh, you went for literal.
Yeah.
Alright.
Hot as balls, that's how hot it is.
Alright, ready to rock?
Hot as balls.
How hot are your balls?
I bruised my testicles last week, actually.
Really?
Yeah, they're alright now.
What happened?
I don't know, it was really hot and I had quite a bad wedgie.
Yeah.
And I sat at work with a wedgie for quite some time, and then I stood up, and I don't know, I just didn't feel right. And I think they'd been really getting really hot and tight for several hours, and I don't think it was good for them, so they were a little bit bruised. But I'm back in it now.
Welcome to MIFFs.
Welcome to MIFFs.
I'm Matt Huss.
And I'm Dan Rhodes. Whether you know about Theseus or you're revising your syllabus,
If you want tales with a bit of jest, or you just want to hear about incest.
What?
What? It's really interesting.
Welcome to MIFFs. Welcome to MIFFs.
Hello and welcome to MIFFs. We're doing an English accent this time round, Dan.
Okay, let's do a conversation in English.
Okay, let's. I'm not sure if the listeners will pick this up, but we'll try it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Matt.
Good day, Daniel.
How are you today?
Very good. And you?
Horses.
Jellyfish.
Yes. The heat today. Very ostrich. No?
Prime ministers.
I think we need that.
Yeah.
I think they'll understand.
I think if you actually did translate that conversation into a Spanish or a German book, it would actually have a really...
Yeah, really.
Very...
That must have been how we sounded though the other day when we did our... last week when we did our German and Spanish.
But welcome to the podcast, everyone. It is... it's hotter than a sun.
It is literally hotter right now than the sun.
Yeah, it's... I'm not sure...
Fact.
Today, we're not actually recording in Wimbledon, we're actually recording in the middle of a star.
In the middle of the star.
It's a brand new...
3 million degrees, surface temperature.
Is that how hot a star is?
I believe so, yeah.
Sounds like you've got a thermostat and just trying to about 3 million.
Things I know, the sun is 91 million miles away, and surface temperature is 3 million degrees Celsius.
Wow.
Or 3,000... No, it can't be 3,000, it's got to be at least 3 million.
I don't know. I
Google this right now.
No.
We'll Google it later. I'll come back with a definitive yes or no later
regardless, it doesn't matter how specific hot it is, it's so hot. Dan is actually doing this recording with his top off.
Top off, just wearing shorts.
Tops off.
Just wearing my shorts, because Matt did stupid Edinburgh, so we had to record before in this heat wave. Stupid Edinburgh.
I'm ever the professional, and profound professional, and I'm
still wearing clothes like a loser.
Still wearing clothes because Dan, I actually respect the podcast listeners. I don't want to cheapen my my comedy for them. I have very highbrow material.
Yeah. Matt, be honest with me right now.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how hot are you?
Very. On a scale of 1 to 10, very.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how long do you think it will be until that top does come off?
I think at least. I think we're going to get to past the first jingle.
Past the first jingle, okay.
Well, what do I win?
There's no denying it's very hot today.
What happens if I keep my top on for the whole myth?
Then you'll probably just die of dehydration, I guess. You'll just
not the fun game I was hoping for.
Sweaty mess. And you'll just die. I'll have to explain to the doctors and the paramedics when they come round. He's wearing clothes for a start, and I'll be like, yeah, I did warn him.
And all the paramedics are just naked as well.
Yeah, all the paramedics are naked.
It's nice that the doctors and nurses are trying to fathom what happened, and you're like, oh, I have no recording of what happened whatsoever. So
yeah, I feel like the start of that Eminem song, "Lose Yourself." Knees weak, palms are sweaty. There's vomit on his shirt. I'm spaghetti.
Would it make you feel better if I had tops off now?
Yeah, take your top off, Matt, please.
You heard it here first. Can you kind of do like a striptease kind of thing? Like banana.
What song were you trying to do then?
I thought
Hey, big spender. I'm gonna do my own. Look, I'm doing my own. Like, you make mixtapes for yourself. This is like this is my striptease version.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a mixture of sexy songs.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you take...
Sex bomb, you my sex bomb.
I feel slightly uncomfortable. We're recording this on Dan's bed, and we're doing a lot of sexy songs. Alright, top's coming off. Yeah, babies. Yeah!
I'll put it back. Put it back on. Oh man, I didn't know that's what it was going to look like.
You're such a dick.
All fun and games until
Top's going back on. I'll do a halfway house, so it's over the neck for now. Oh yeah. So currently, as a compromise, the
what's quite funny about Matt would be stopping. It looks like if anyone walked into our room right now, it looks like you're trying to get changed because something's weird going. You know what I mean? It looks like you're like, oh, just putting my t-shirt on.
The t-shirt's around my neck and not over my arms. You get me?
No, Matt, I was joking. That was a horrible thing for me to do. Actually, I apologise.
Yeah, Dan, you're supposed to be body positivity now. It doesn't mean
I'm sorry. It was meant to be a little joke.
Body positivity means that I can look like an absolute wreck and you can't judge me for it now. So.
I'm a bit of a skinny. Look at my arms. Look at the tan lines. I'm a skinny little mess.
Dan, have I ever told you the story about me stripping on stage?
No.
Would you like to hear it?
No. I'm joking. Go on.
Do you actually?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so picture it back. Are you sure I haven't told this on the podcast?
Oh, probably. I'll stop you if you have.
Okay. The year was last year, and basically, it was during the Fringe last year, and I was at home and I hadn't got a lot of gigs, so I decided to do Chesterfield's New Act of the Year competition. And to cut a long story short, the gig wasn't really going well for anyone involved, right? So there's 3 sections. I was the last in the second section. Everyone's done really quite bad. The audience were enjoying it, but they weren't laughing out loud, and the whole room was bad for it as well. And I drove 2 hours to be there, and I started off it's a competition. I was like, all right, I'm going to start off the show strong. Did my first...
I'm glad it was a competition. That was my first question.
What do you mean?
When I stripped on stage, I was like, please be a competition. Please don't say you just did this for a... Well, there's a number of reasons you might do it.
Yeah, exactly. Gratification.
Yeah.
To make Dan
to impress a lady friend. Yeah.
That's not going to impress.
No.
But what happened is I did my first joke, and then got pretty much nothing. And I was like, I'll try the second joke. Again, nothing. And on the stage was the trophy. And my first big laugh of the night was I pointing to the trophy, like, well, I'm not going to win that anymore, am I? And everyone kind of laughed. And I was like, you know what, I've got 4 minutes left on stage. I've lost this, so I'll do anything you want, you know. Let's just have a bit of fun, you know. And this one guy shouts out, take off your top! And I was like, that's weird, but okay. So I kind of did it. Everyone was like, yeah, woo, yeah. And I was like, okay, back to the jokes. And he was like, take off your trousers! So that's a bit menacing. It's a bit more menacing. So I was like, okay, do people want to do that? And some people were like, no, but a lot of people were like, yeah, go on. And I was like, I'm not sure if I should do this. Should I really debase myself? You know, as I mentioned earlier, I don't want to debase myself from the podcast viewers. But what happened is that before I got to make a decision, the sound man started putting on "You Can Leave Your Hat On." You know, the stripper music. You can leave your hat on, and I was like,
I stripped that during bounces and uni.
And the thing is, so I started stripping off, and the kind of like animalistic thing kind of came out of me. I wasn't a comedian anymore. I think my true calling is a stripper, because I was like Magic Matt Hoss. I started stripping off, like really going for it, like woo. And
isn't that a prequel to Magic Mike?
Yes.
Magic Matt.
And magic mushrooms. So I kept on doing that, and then so I was in my pants and socks, and there's 2 ladies filming it at the front. I was like, do you ladies want to hang out with me afterwards? And we're like, no. So what I did is got my socks, pinged them at them, and just kind of hit them both in the face, if you know what I mean. And I was like, well, you're willing to take a picture of me, but you won't even go home with me. Cheers. I see how it is. I'm just a freak. And the funny thing is that there's a promoter called Stoney there, and Stoney was sat in the front row, just his eyes were wide open, and he was just like terrified at it. And it was really going quite well. And I thought, okay, how am I going to finish this? Because I'm in my boxes now, and it'd be quite funny to finish naked or nude, but like I haven't got anything to cover myself up with. and I saw a guy with a hat in the audience. I was like, "Oi, mate! I tell you what would be quite funny. Throw us your hat on stage, and I'll use it to do like the full Monty kind of thing at the end." And he just kind of didn't respond. It's like, "Come on, mate! Throw up your hat." Again, didn't respond. After the show, I realised that he was blind. So that would have been very...
He wasn't before the striptease.
You're such a dick. Yeah, but then I was like, oh, how am I going to finish this?
Can you imagine that, Dave? How long, when did you lose your sight? Edinburgh Fringe 2017.
It was actually Chesterfield 2017, I'll have you know. And...
you just said it was during last year's Fringe.
It was during the Fringe time, I didn't have that many gigs.
Oh, I see.
So I lived in Chesterfield. So what had happened is that I, for the final bit, I actually did take off my pants, cut my balls in a shoe, and walked off stage and striptease for my for a gig. I didn't win. So
didn't win.
However, actually, it would be quite funny. There's actually a review of that night. Would you like to read? Because Peter Fox was there, and he did not like it one bit. Shall I read it out to you?
Yeah, let's find the review.
Oh, Peter Fox has had some really bad reviews on me.
Who's Peter Fox?
He's just Peter Fox is a Midlands comedy reviewer. He kind of mostly does open mic and some professional stuff. Honestly, one of the nicest men I've ever met, but he has seen me do some absolute tripe. I have a theory that every time I do a gig with Peter Fox in, I do really badly.
Yeah.
Like the first time I ever met him, it's like I did a gig in Nottingham, and what happened is I had to impress some promoters, and essentially I did this bit where I tried to high-five someone on the front row, and it's like a row of tables, and I went to high-five this person, and I put my knee on the table, and the table snapped under me. Let's search for an act. Matt Hoss. Oh, I did all right. Wait, did I do all right at this one? Oh, in this one he talks about how I actually did okay for once. It's really, really... Oh, this one I did badly, yeah.
We've got to read some of these out.
Yeah,
scroll down to Matt.
I'll tell you what, we'll come back to this last one, because I think the last one's quite...
Can we not do a good one first?
Yeah, well, it's not a good one. It's okay, fine.
Just because it's the first one. There's my horse. There he is. Can I read it out?
Do you want to read it out? By the way, Peter Fox is from the Midlands, so you might have a Nottingham accent. So.
Okay, yeah. Next was... This is Matt's review. When was this last year?
This is December 2017. This is the end of the row of bad gigs with Peter Fox. Okay. And it's not great, by the way.
Next was Matt Hoss, who whenever I see him normally seems to get mixed up in some kind of fiasco, whether it be misjudging a high five and crashing through a table, smashing a light with a mic stand, or following a patchy audience reception, stripping off naked on stage.
I'd like to quarrel that because Peter Fox actually smashed that fucking gig. They loved it, by the way.
That's the striptease we were just discussing. Yes. I'm sure that he was beginning to think that I was some kind of performance Jonah. I'm happy to say that he's broken that string of bad luck and that he had a good gig tonight. In fact, it was the best I've seen him. Oh, that's nice. The reason behind this was partly that his set featured a lot of audience interaction, and this brought everyone on board and created a good atmosphere. There were still a few things that could have been improved, such as him doing a few jokes about announcing his degree, as that would have given it more credibility. The tweets were good. Wait, here we go. The tweets were good, but the 9/11 one was a bit bold, and would have been better if he'd made a funny comment about it.
He's not wrong in all fairness. Yeah. That was the weak one.
It sounds like you just referenced 9/11 for no reason, didn't make a joke about it in a comedy gig.
There was a joke, but it's not a very funny one, alright?
Oh, okay.
Wait, it's more than just that, by the way. I don't want to mention 9/11.
As ever, the final one was a bit predictable, and I'd like to see a rethink on the sender to make it somewhat totally unexpected. Hoss did well and received good laughs from the audience, with everyone enjoying his set. So that was a good review.
Well, yeah, that was a good review. Let's see what happened.
This is funny.
So let's do the stripping one.
It's quite much like comedy. Wonder who his favourite comedians are.
So, but every comedian so far has kind of got about 5-6 lines tops. See how long mine is.
This is massive. Is he secretly likes you probably?
Well, actually, we get along really well, and I do really, really love Peter Fox as well. He's very nice. He's watching me. He's seen my worst gigs, you know.
Yeah. The last time I saw Hoss, he'd had a challenging night. Here we go. Anyone who can to high-five someone sat in the front row, Miff shows the distance, fall and demolish a table, can be described as having a challenging night.
That was actually quite a funny gig though, in all fairness.
So you went to high-five someone, just missed and went straight for the table?
Well, no, I kind of put my knee on the table and kind of fell down, if you know what I mean.
Was that not funny though?
It was really, I thought it was quite funny, but I think from the outside, people kind of thought it was kind of like, everyone thought I felt sorry for me.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it was like, it's kind of, it worked.
There had been a lot of bad luck for him that night, and from what I saw tonight, I'm beginning to wonder just how many mirrors he smashed. He began by talking about his master's degree and asking the audience about their degrees. This will work in some rooms, but in a depressed mining town in front of an audience of people having a Friday night knees up, it's more of a long shot than in many places. Paradoxically, his notion of weird degrees was really has real potential, but he didn't really explore it. Hoss then went with a bit more material, and it became obvious that the room wasn't exactly fully on board. So he spoke about going off and coming back on. However, he didn't do this, and I'm not fully sure exactly how he got from this, and perhaps Hoss isn't either. But he went from attempting to reset his performance to stripping off. He began by doing a few buttons on his shirt, and here the sound guys really stepped up. He began to play "You Can Leave Your Hat On." Hoss announced that he didn't think he was going to win the contest, which received the biggest laugh, and while saying that, he took one shoe off and then a sock, which was thrown into the audience. Very quickly he was down to his trousers, and then he asked for a cheer if people wanted him to keep them on. I was sure that the loud response meant that was the end of it, but perversely there was an even louder cheer for him going further, which he obliged. The sound guy put Tom Jones back on, and Hoss ended up starkers. This was definitely not something easily forgotten once seen, and like the punch-out earlier, a spectacle, but I'm rather hoping that stripping off when a night goes badly will not catch on.
Oh, what did you think, man?
It's quite funny how that's exactly how you described your strip routine and how I pictured it going.
In all fairness, because I don't think Peter captures the joviality of it, because it was like, it was an event and everyone was losing their minds as well. Well, from my perspective of it. But everyone seemed to enjoy it. People were like cheering me on, stuff like that, because it was weird. But in all fairness to me, I would argue that if a gig wasn't going well, I actually grabbed it by the balls and go, okay, it's not going well, what can I do? And I turned the gig around and people like give me applause at the end and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's although I debased myself, but I did it with... It was funny though, right?
Yeah, now let's see what the follow-up act Dan had to do. Daniel Triscup. Luckily, that was the end of the middle section, as no one would have been able to follow. And when Triscup took to the stage after the break, he was met by a shout of, "Take your clothes off!" Thanks, Matt. You've ruined another comedian's night. Possibly a new experience for him. Triscup gave the room a mix of one-liners and short routines, and I felt that the room wasn't that sure of him for the first 40 seconds or so. Oh, I wonder why, Matt. Trying to follow you after you're stripped.
May I, Tom King, who won the night, he went on last, and Tom King, he was mesmerised by this as well, and he decided to...
Is he not the one I've met?
No, I don't think so.
The one-liner guy that was gold?
No, that's a different Tom. Tom King, read about him with Tom King.
King had a splendid night. He began... He's the fun lad, was he?
Yeah.
He began extremely well by coming to the stage in just his pants, carrying his clothes, and in a callback to Hoss's set, announcing that in contrast, he begins his set nude, and then puts on his clothes. From here he went from strength to strength. His local knowledge enabled it was already a good joke to land, just a bit hard. Everything King received a laugh, with a hardy moment that went into the waste. It gave the room a great set.
He didn't need to do the rest of it.
Oh, good for him.
But yeah,
so he actually
he started off nude and went,
that's funny.
Tom King's a very funny man. Yeah, so that was my stripping story. It's very Matt Hoss, isn't it? But I'm glad I didn't do that in front of the kids.
Yeah. I've seen what you do in front of kids. Comedy-wise.
Not on the podcast, Dan.
Thank you for letting me read those, Matt.
You're welcome. Enough of the stripping story.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I feel better about that
Can
now.
I take off my top now?
Yeah, take your top off from
Woo!
right. There we go.
Woo! I'm not puking now, eh, Dan?
No.
Oh, sway.
Let's belly slap.
Wait, what are we doing?
Belly slapping.
Oh, I felt...
We just touched bellies.
Yeah.
I thought it'd make a noise, but it didn't, so it just would.
No, we just rubbed their chests on each other.
Well, last week you blew a raspberry on me.
Did you like it?
No.
Do you want another raspberry into the? This is not a common thing, but by God, we'll go into. Well,
no offense, I don't want it to become a thing that you always blow raspberries on me.
Every single episode.
Yeah.
Alright, just one more, okay? Well, just a single one more.
I'm very sweaty, so I really wouldn't.
Okay, how about a raspberry at the end?
Okay, maybe.
No. You can get... I'll do one.
No, I don't feel comfortable. I'm very sweaty.
Let's belly slap? No, okay.
I really was hoping that would make... I thought it would make like a... No, it's not going to work. I wanted it to make like a high five, but with our bellies, but it didn't work. So it just basically just rubbed each other. That's
We are not good in the heat, are we? This is like cabin fever.
Okay, let's do the myth.
Okay, Daniel, we are going to be doing the another Troy story, a Trojan War story. Dan! I said, don't ever pick up that episode 4 trumpet again.
I'll put it down.
Yeah, and break it right now. Snap it in two. You sure that wasn't Brian the Eagle?
No one knows what he sounds like, Matt.
Very northern, apparently. I moved up north. Anyway, so today, again, we're doing another... this one's a smaller myth, however, it's a myth which is... I think it's important for the chronology of the Trojan War, I think. It gives more scope as well. And last week we discussed Paris, and who is Paris in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah, he's about to start off the Trojan War, because he did start off the Trojan War, because he did steal the Helen.
And who is his dad?
His dad is King Priam.
Priam.
Oh, fucking... In the film, he's called Priam, okay? And I can't help that.
Well, you know, who's got a degree in it, Dan? I technically got half a degree in it.
Yeah, he's got half a degree in it.
Very unemployable. However, King Priam had many sons and many daughters, the princes of Troy, princes and princesses of Troy. And one of those princesses is a lucky little soul called Cassandra. And have you heard
So she is Paris' sister?
Yes. Yeah.
That's how families work.
Incest. Cassandra's quite an interesting one because she is she's one of the people that actually gets off quite worse in the family, and that's saying something with this family. So, do you know much about Apollo or Cassandra?
Apollo is the god. I thought he was the god of the sun, but I don't think he is.
No, I can understand why he did that. Helios is a sun god, but he's like archery and like foresight. He's very close to Artemis.
Okay.
So
I know he just seems to get. He seems to be. He's always mentioned, and he seems to get worshipped a lot, even though I don't think he actually does that much. He's not really the god of anything.
Very wisdom. I think he's a god of like future and wisdom and stuff like that. He's very.
I know he's a big one.
It's more like seeing to the future in Destiny because it's like the prophet of Apollo and stuff like that. Yeah, foresight. I think it's probably.
Like your future, yeah.
Well, actually, that's actually very. Seeing into the future is actually very apparent for this next myth as well. So, this is the myth of Apollo and Cassandra. Apollo gave up love for a period of time after the second woman tried to woo him, Belina. Wait,
you were going to have to just start that. Jesus Christ.
After the second woman...
Even I wasn't convinced you were reading that. Apollo gave...
Shut up. I'm trying to do it really artfully, okay? Apollo gave up on love for a period of time after the second woman he tried to woo. Her name was Belina, and she decided she would rather be free than marry him. This rejection caused him to withdraw from the world of romance for many years.
There's a little backstory on Apollo.
Yeah.
He fell in love with a girl, she didn't like him. He's taking it pretty hard.
He's essentially like every emo band from the 2000 onwards. He's like Apollo's the MCR of the group.
Yeah.
He's like, I bet all the other gods in the pantheon of Mount Olympus are all kind of glowing gods, and Apollo has like kind of like jet black hair and kind of covers his eyes, like has a lip piercing. It's like, whoa, don't you want it? You're such an embarrassment. Yeah, do you reckon he's like that?
I reckon he's like that.
Yeah. So he's been hurt, and this is the second time as well. Second wife. Have you ever withdrawn from the world of romance, Dan? Have you
Not by choice.
Have you ever entered the world of romance?
Not by choice.
Well, you know, you don't belly slap with many people.
No, I don't, actually.
After all, the first two women that he fell in love with, Daphne and Belina, wanted nothing to do with him. That, in and of itself is not helpful for the ego. Because of the rejections, Apollo was afraid to pursue another woman. The way this is written, it sounds a lot like therapist notes, if you know what I mean. It sounds like Apollo is like,
Yeah.
to them. It's like, it's not helpful for the ego whatsoever. Unfortunately for Apollo, Cupid's arrow struck again. This is the third time Cupid's been involved in this as well.
He loves it, doesn't he?
He loves to get his prick out.
Loves to get his prick out.
Apollo became enamoured with one of his priestesses. She was named Cassandra, and she was a princess of Troy.
Hashtag Paris' sister.
Because
if there's like a boy and a girl,
oh my god, stop it, please!
Have the same mum and dad, then they're sister. So she's his sister technically.
All right, you can take it on.
I love how it gets you.
So there's a priestess at the Temple of Apollo that he has his eye on.
It's basically like his colleague, his employee.
Yeah, actually that's a creepy way of putting it, because you're right actually, because this person that is devout to him, he's like, hey, you want to go out with me? Again, this is very much like Mars and the Vestal version.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? It's kind of abuse of power. You know,
It is. Apollo's basically Harvey Weinstein.
I knew you were going to say that.
Apollo first noted to the young prince. Apollo.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't convinced you were reading that time.
I just forgot to spell Apollo. I nearly said Apollo. That's how the Spanish say it. Apollo first noted the young princess when she went to sacrifice at his temple, praying for the safety of her older brothers who were going into battle. One of them was probably Paris. The obvious love that she held for her family made her catch his eye. Apollo was wary, however, and did not want to pursue another pointless relationship.
Let's just pause it there for a second. Dan said probably Paris, because what Dan likes to do is like to guess facts, but probably not, because Paris didn't actually get that involved in fighting, if anything.
He just causes it.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. He kind of causes it. And
his brother's having to fight for him.
Well, the thing is, Troy actually has a really awful army. In fact, the only good fighter for the Trojans is Hector, and he kind of does all the legwork, really. And that's why later on Achilles fights Hector, because it's a one-on-one battle.
Incredible battle in Troy. Brad Pitt, Eric Bana, absolutely amazing scene.
It's so for the rest of this bit, you can't always reference Troy, okay? I mean, this podcast has very little.
It's helping me with my knowledge, my background knowledge.
Okay.
So what's happened as well?
So Apollo.
So he likes his princess, but he doesn't want to pursue her because he's like, the last two have failed and they don't like him back.
Also, she doesn't apart from being a follower, which doesn't really show love, by the way. She hasn't shown any reciprocation of this, by the way, so he can literally choose any woman he wants.
While Apollo watched the young woman, he noticed that she wished to know what would become of her family in the frequent skirmishes that broke out as Troy and their neighbours fought for more territory. Drawn in by her prayers, Apollo decided that he would risk the heartbreak once more time. He appeared before Cassandra and made a deal with her. In exchange for her allowing his courtship of her, he would give her the gift of prophecy.
Okay. Well, so this is problematic here, isn't it? Because this isn't a relationship. This is like
blackmail / bribery.
Well, I'm going to say gratuitous prostitution, isn't it? So, you want to hang out with me? I'll give you the gift of prophecy if you come and hang out with the A-dog. You know what I mean? App-dog. So, yeah, the gift of prophecy, though. I think that'd be cool. Like if you've dated someone and you kind of got a perk for dating that single person, like. What would you do with the gift of prophecy then?
Well, I'd probably look into the future.
How far into the future? You're at hard work today, my friend.
I would probably look as well. I don't know if I'd like to know my future, because if you look into the future right now, is that showing you the future if you were to continue on the path you are, or is it telling you what will happen regardless? And what I mean by that is, if I look into the future and it says, okay, you're a billionaire, and you think, well, I better not do anything then, because clearly the universe is going to make me a billionaire.
Yeah.
But it won't do, because that's showing you what will happen if you continue on the path you are now, i.e. still hard working, whatever.
Yeah, but
and then you might give up on that dream, and then next year you might prophesy to that exact same time period, but now you're like a heroin addict in a bin. And you're like, oh no, it's just because that's the path I'm on now.
No, but I don't think it works like that, because if you can see into the future,
you're forgetting about how time isn't linear in that. Time is a series of parallel lines that curve and weave through the universe.
We are so sweaty right now. What? Yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
You got my thought process though,
yeah,
right?
totally, yeah. In all fact, I do think that it'd be quite cool to have it, but I think it would the novelty would wear off pretty fast, because, like, but then again, I think it'd be quite handy, if you know what I mean.
I've always thought the gift of being able to see 5 minutes into the future is handy. Then you could avoid accidents, couldn't you?
Go on.
5 minutes. Oh, a car's gonna like you know might see someone get hit by a car or a car crash. You can see it happening, so you can avoid it.
But my point is, though, is if it is in the future, I think
That's
it's already
gonna
preordained to happen. If you know what I mean, it's gonna.
That's what I'm saying. I always think of it as like that's what will happen if you continue on this path without change.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess which time rules we want to obey.
That would be cool, right? Knowing that you could what's going to happen and then predict it.
Yeah, but I also think, you know, if I had the foresight for that, I wouldn't have to strip off from stage, would I?
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, they're really going for it. Yeah, I should just do my material. Yeah, wicked.
Yeah, you could look 5 minutes ahead in a gig and be
my
like,
God,
"Oh, that's
actually,
I've absolutely bombed. I better change something so that you don't bomb."
I'll do someone else's material. Actually, that for my day to day, that would actually be really good. Actually, but then again, would you ever be able to turn off the vision? You know what I mean?
I think you can like do it yourself, unless it's an emergency. Then it flashes up.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bit of a dodgy thing. Like, I mean, it's nice if it's a gift, but the thing is with Apollo and any gods, I don't believe it'll probably be a gift. If you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Anyway, Cassandra was, at first, shocked that a god had appeared before her, let alone one who wanted to pursue her.
I feel like that would be a different day.
Yeah, well, that happens quite regularly as well. Being like,
Monday, had breakfast, went to work as a priestess, came home, had dinner, watched some TV, went to bed. Tuesday, same thing. Wednesday, I went out for Sandra's work do. It was nice, but I couldn't drink because I was driving. Thursday, the god Apollo came before me and told me he fancied me. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, Sandra's do was awesome.
Yeah.
It's nice that you think the ancient Greeks drive cars and watch TV. By the way,
Yeah. They invented the TV.
what if she had the gift of prophecy? She could like watch in the future and watch Netflix and shit like that.
If she could, yeah.
Is that possible?
We'd probably still have had to have paid for the subscription, so it's probably still pointless. Can you imagine being Cassandra, what are you doing? Watching, eyes roll back to her head, watching Netflix.
Orange is the New Black. Whoa! Look, imagine that though. Imagine if you and your friends were, if you're a prophet and you just tell everyone spoilers of everything.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you just ruined Lord of the Rings for me. Oh no. Oh, Game of Thrones. You just told me what happened at the end. Oh, you could really fuck with your friends, wouldn't you? So, Cassandra saw this god in front of her. This shock quickly turned to excitement as she realised just what this deal would mean. No longer would she have to spend nights awake, tormented by dreams of what might happen to her family on the battlefield. While she would know their fate, she would not be forced to imagine even worse torments for them. Even if she prophesied the death of one of her beloved brothers, at least she would be given the chance to mourn their loss and begin to prepare the others for when the survivors returned. So, the issue here is she's not really living her life with it. She could say like a heartfelt farewell to her brothers and comrades.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like, it seems a bit like she's wasting it a little bit, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because basically she just like, what it sounds like she's doing is that she just like deads out on the field, and she's just guessing it 5 minutes beforehand, like, oh yeah, I bet Ajax isn't coming home, and that's not really preparing anyone for it, if you know what I mean? And I imagine it gets very annoying very quickly.
It would, yeah. Ajax is an absolute lad in the film.
Yeah. Well, he's actually...
Got his axe.
He's actually Greek. There's actually two Ajaxes. There's the big one and the small one. Ajax... I can't remember. One of them's a rapist. So,
Yeah.
So, anyway, as so Cassandra is stoked by all of this. As these thoughts went through Cassandra's head, Apollo was struggling with the idea. All he wanted was a chance to find love. Seeing the love that the princess held for others made him want her to choose him as another favoured person. To his delight, the princess accepted his offer. Apollo immediately gifted her with the power to see into the future. Which is nice. However, even as a god, Apollo seems really insecure, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I want her to love me. Like, again, MCR kind of thing. He's like a teenager, you know what I mean?
Cassandra, for all the care that she had held for her family, did not hold as much love for any other. Sadly, this meant that the deal she made with Apollo was only done to benefit her. The moment that the woman had the gift she had been promised, Cassandra rejected Apollo's suit. She turned him away, telling him that she would not marry. The entire deal was made to benefit her and give her something to potentially protect her family with, not to accept his love.
But again, this is all loaded, though, so it's kind of like saying, "Oh well, she didn't love me in return," and it's like buying her love with gifts. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's still a bit grim. If you know what I mean?
Apollo, shocked at the deception that Cassandra used towards him, did not know what to do at first. However, he knew that he could not allow this cruel woman to use his gift solely to benefit her family. To counteract what he gave her, he made it so that Cassandra would no longer be believed. Ooh.
Right, just before we right, the thing that I'm actually a bit frustrated here, right, with Apollo, he's saying that, "Oh, I'm shocked that Cassandra has deceived me. How did this even happen?" But he suggested giving her the gift in the first place.
That's what I'm finding a bit
so
weird.
it's not deception, is it? It's just
He said, "I'll give you the gift of prophecy."
Yeah, and
she said, "All right."
Yeah, thank you. Oh,
He didn't say, "Oh, by the way, you can only use it
yeah
for other people."
And she's like, "Well, maybe I just don't fancy you, and I see you more of a friend kind of thing." But in all fairness, this is not a victim blame or whatever. But like, I'm just saying,
She was wearing a miniskirt, is what you're trying to say. Is that what you're going to say?
No,
That's what you were going to say, wasn't it, Matt?
No, but she was a priestess of Apollo, so I imagine.
Oh, so that means it's okay.
No,
to abuse
I'm
her?
not saying that
my
whatsoever.
goodness.
Oh my god, this is the Syrian refugees all over again. How am I always the bad person in this? I'm just trying to say that she seems to, for a priestess of Apollo and seeing God before her very eyes, she seems very chilled out of I'm gonna just. She seems very underwhelmed that she just saw God. She got over it very fast.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Touche.
Bear in mind, it's the goddess. She was a goddess. She's
She
a priestess.
prays. She worships this guy like 8 hours a day, and then he's come and been like, "Hey, want to hang out with me?" And she's like, "No, I'm good."
That's like
what?
Okay, if the Westboro Baptist Church Jesus popped up, "Hey, you want to hang out?" And just like, "No, we're good.
I'm good.
We're gonna go on a hate parade." You know what I mean? So there's a lot of weird contortion here.
So now she can't be believed.
So Apollo, to get vengeance, he makes it so she can see into the future, but no one believes a word of her. No longer would she be able to manipulate those around her. Her actions brought about her destruction. As a result of his curse, Cassandra saw the destruction of Troy, yet no one will listen to her pleas to get rid of Helen. She continued to see the downfall of her family, as well as her own destruction as a result of the war. So that's quite a messed up thing.
She can see that Troy's going to get destroyed when it does, but no one will believe her, so she can't say to people, "Listen to me, we're all going to die."
Should we play that conversation out, Dan?
Okay. Who are you going to be?
I'll be Cassandra.
Okay, go.
Oh shit! Excuse me, sir. Just to let you know.
Yeah? Oh my god, it's Princess Cassandra, sister of Paris.
I'm Priestess Cassandra now. I had a relationship there.
Yeah.
Did you know that Troy's going to burn down because of like a horse kind of thing? We got to stop it.
Yeah, what would you know?
Well, I literally have prophecy into the future.
No, you don't. You used to, but now you don't.
Well, I do. I know what you're going to get for your next birthday.
What did you say? What are we going to get for next birthday?
You're going to get a Miss Podcast T-shirt. That's.
I listen to Miss Podcast.
Oh,
I listen to Drunken Comedian Podcast.
Oh, thank you very much.
No worries. What did you say was going to happen?
The destruction of Troy's going to happen. You've got to stop it. Well, it's going to be a horse.
Oh, fucking hell. A horse?
Yeah, wouldn't
a horse is everywhere, mate. It's ancient Greece. How do you think we get around?
Well, technically it's ancient Troy, but it's just Troy because it doesn't really progress.
Troy, now in modern Turkey. I know where it is, mate. I live here.
Wait, if you know it's modern Turkey, then you must know there's the downfall of Troy, then.
I'm confused. What?
Just believe me,
I'm from the future, mate. Wait, who can see the future?
You're not from the future.
Neither are you. See? That's how ridiculous you're being, Cassandra.
What we just did was essentially Twitter, but real life.
That's what it would be like, though.
Yeah. I think... Imagine doing that every day.
I've got to go home and tend to my goats.
Well, 2 of them are dead, so I just let you know.
Actually, only one of them's dead.
I'm going to kill the other one. So, had she not been so focused on using Apollo, rather than following through with her promise and allowing him to court her, opening her heart to others, Cassandra would have been able to prevent the future from occurring. Wow.
Is that the end of it?
It is, and what that does, this piece of writing just victim blamed Cassandra Essentially, it goes, well, if she followed through with her false love with Apollo, she would actually stop Troy being destroyed. But
yeah, I don't agree with that. I think she did the right thing.
Yeah.
Don't love someone. If you don't love someone, you don't love someone.
You know,
don't be with someone just for the sake of... Life's not a competition, guys. There's plenty of fish in the sea. You don't like someone, okay, you hurt their feelings, God or no God. You could be the most powerful person you know, the least powerful person. You could be a celebrity, you could not be a celebrity.
The most powerful thing you can do is tell the truth. Honesty is the best key.
Honesty is the best policy.
Honesty is the best policy, unless that...
Apart from if lying would benefit you, then just lie.
Yes, totally. 100%
lie. But in this situation,
yes,
don't lie.
Don't lie. Be honest with yourselves. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this whole article, this source is very much saying Cassandra is at fault here, but it really isn't. And I think what happened to Cassandra, I think it's discussed in the Aeneid. I think she actually goes to work in other places. I think she survives the war in Troy. She moves somewhere else, and she's like a prophecy seer. But still, people still don't believe her.
Okay, yeah.
And as I mentioned before, as I mentioned with Tiresias and some other people, this notion of a prophet that can see into the future, but no one listens to them, this is called prophetic fallacy, if you remember me saying that before. So this Cassandra syndrome is very important, and it's seen throughout history and mythical iconography as well.
Matt Connor!
Give me some levity as well there.
Oh, you want me to say something really stupid?
Yeah.
My friend the other day was telling me that his friend got tetanus by being bitten by a squirrel on a park bench.
There is so much in what? Well, we'll talk about that.
Well, actually, no. I should rephrase that. I was telling my colleagues yesterday about someone I know who got bitten. My friend of a friend got get tetanus off a squirrel. And it just made me think of it because we were talking about it the other day.
Can't wait to go to Halstead.
It's in Colchester, actually.
What's the difference?
One's Halstead, one's Colchester. Halstead's probably the greatest place on earth. Colchester's... Oldest recorded town in Britain. Fun fact. Roman castle there.
Roman castle.
Yeah.
We were there.
Yeah, Romans like the Greeks, but not.
Okay, jingle time. So, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the jingle. So, Dan, let's rank this in the old-fashioned time of life skills, morals, creativity, and the old WTF factor. So, life skills first. What practical things did we learn?
We learnt how to shoot someone with an arrow, Cupid shot with an arrow.
That's the third time in a row he's done that.
That's about it, really.
No, we learnt to see the future.
We learnt to see the future, that's fair.
We learnt how to blackmail someone to love us.
That's true, yeah, I suppose that is a life skill, yeah.
Well, it's a horrible one. We learnt how to victim blame.
Yeah.
We learnt...
It's not great, man, let's be honest.
This is one of the low... To be honest, I think this is a low episode. In its defence, I think it is important in the grand scheme of the Trojan War, because having that person know the destruction of Troy and being able to see into the future but not do anything about it, it's kind of a daunting thing. I think it's, as a greater narrative thing, I think Cassandra is a really interesting plot point. However, Miss Myth by herself, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
We learn how to not woo ladies by getting done over twice.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I think that's about it, to be honest.
2 out of 10.
Is that even that?
1 out of 10.
Fuck
it. Yeah.
Wow, I think this might be on record low here. Morals. Quite a lot, in all fairness.
Yeah, there's a lot. Don't be with someone because you feel obliged to.
Don't give someone a gift and then retract it if they don't like it anymore. A gift is a gift.
Yeah.
And also don't...
In fact, actually, in a weird way, I don't want to get too political or too, but this whole... No, we joked about Weinstein earlier. This whole, thing with these celebrities, it's very similar to this, actually.
Yeah,
Just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean... There's a lot, she could have quite easily felt like she had to let him court her because she was like, oh, this is Apollo, I guess I have to. But she stuck to her guns and she was like, you know what? I don't have to.
Yeah, and because
I appreciate your regard and I respect you.
Again, I don't think we're all authorities here, but I think, in all fairness, so there's this figure who this let's say vulnerable lady is she worships this person and she has something that she wants, and he's willing to abuse that relationship in order to get what he wants, if you know what I mean. And at the moment that she refuses him, he comes down on her like a ton of bricks, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's vastly unfair. And this is a different point, and I'm not making a defense for Apollo here, although in comparison to other gods, at least he could have been a lot worse in terms of his treatment of Cassandra. If you know what I mean. So bear in mind, Zeus would have if he stubs his toe in your house, he'll turn you into a scarecrow or something like that. I think he's at least a less vindictive, if you know what I mean. But still, it's still a gross misjudgment of power. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I guess that's quite some big morals there, but not a lot. Are we missing out on anything?
No, I think that is the biggest moral though, but it's quite a big overriding one.
Maybe like a 4 or 5?
4, I think a 4.
So, creativity. I think the fact that loving a god is quite creative. The fact that he bribes and blackmails and then gives...
Well, she's a princess to begin with, that's quite creative. Yeah. Bribery,
The fact that she fits into the greater arc is quite interesting. Yeah. The fact that it's kind of an ironic punishment, isn't it?
Yes.
I think a 5.
5? Okay. That was easy.
And WTF.
Well, that messed up, really.
Not really.
It was messed up in the sense that... they were like... No one believed her. That's pretty messed up. That's unfair.
Yeah.
And it's messed up that...
A god would do that.
That god would do that, and that a god would... that people would be so angry to judge her for doing what actually is probably the right thing to do.
Yeah, to victim blame is the messed up thing. However, in comparison to other things, there's no gore, no monsters. There's just a really sad state of affairs, really. It's not grandiose whatsoever. No. I think maybe a 2 or 3 here.
Give it a 3. Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, cool. I think... Is that because you didn't want to change it? Is that fair? Because I don't think it's...
Alright, 2.
2.
It's pretty crap, this myth.
It's not... I don't think...
But it is important for the overriding arc of Troy. We needed this. And there's going to be a lot of these episodes about Troy, and they're all pieces of a much bigger puzzle. But it's important to get, because we've got all of last week's with Paris, and he's stealing Helen. But this is an important subplot that, meanwhile, in the actual city of Troy itself, she is telling people we're in trouble, and no one's believing her. Yeah. So it's all building up to... I suppose at this point they don't know 1,000 ships are coming. Yeah,
well, I think they might be aware, but because... I think to kind of add to what we just said, I think Cassandra is like one of those feminist heroes, if you know what I mean? Because no one listens... Like Echo, no one really listens to her, but she sticks to her guns, and... because of who she is, people don't believe her, but I think that she's actually a very important figure, you know what I mean? And she's a misunderstood soul, you know what I mean? So I think we should have our sympathy and respect for her.
We should.
And that's what we do with our tops off. And the score in total is 1 + 4 + 5 + 2 is 12.
12! Whoop, 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 whoop.
You do that quite a lot.
I think that might be the lowest.
One of the lowest. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's the lowest.
Yeah, lowest, man.
Yeah.
Ooh. Because King Midas is 13.
Close.
That's, man. The lowest one so far. But I think it's still important, you know. Even if it's a low rank, doesn't mean it's a low myth.
Yeah.
I mean, technically. But
it does. But it's an important myth.
Yes. And I think it's important to discuss it as well. So, Daniel, did you enjoy the myth?
I did enjoy the myth. It was good.
And I think, I if you were Peter Fox, how would you review this myth?
I would say that it lacked monsters. It lacked
stripping,
death. There were relationships, but it wasn't a nice relationship. It wasn't like Cupid and Psyche even recently, where they had nice, they actually genuinely loved each other for who they were, and they worked through their problems. They had quite a few issues, i.e. he kidnapped her, but they worked through it. These guys are just a bit awkward, really. And actually, the main moral of the story is that this is important to know in the bigger picture. And Troy's going to get destroyed, and no one knows.
I guess another thing is as well is that like their relationship seems to be over pretty fast as well. It's like it seems like an hour. If you know what I mean? Oh, prophecy, bye. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, it all happened very quickly, didn't it?
Anyway, thank you for listening to episode 31. We have some, we like to do the social media, but we're going to do it very different today, aren't we, Dan?
Matt, if I was to go onto Twitter and type in @MIFF Podcast, would that take me to our page?
Yes, probably at some point.
If I went on Facebook and I typed in MIFF Podcast, would that take us to our page?
Yes, it would.
If I typed in MIFF Podcast 107 at yahoo.com, would that be our email address?
No, but that...
No, it wouldn't, would it?
It is the email address for Drunken Comedian Podcast.
Oh, I see, yeah. What is our email address, Matt?
It is misspodcast@gmail.com. And you, yes, you, podcast listener, you can get in touch with the old Matt Hosdog and Dan Rhodesathon. So, any burning desires you have ever wanted to ask us, like, Matt, have you ever done a gig where you keep your clothes on? Yeah, stuff like that, I'll answer back.
Can tell you now? Yes, in 2010.
Before I started doing stand-up.
Yeah.
I think it's a personal affront to my audience if I don't take off all my clothes.
I agree.
It's really disrespectful. So do come and see me live. If you go on my website, www.matthoscomedy.com, you can see all my upcoming gigs. Why don't you come and see me perform live? Dan, how am I live?
Pretty good, actually. Better than you think.
Wow. Better than that Peter review.
Peter review, yes, that's so.
I'm a pretty good comedian, and I'm a 6-star comedian at the Fringe, Dan, so...
that's pretty impressive, yeah.
But I'm running a host of vegan gigs, Viva Las Vegan gigs, and we're doing lots around the country. So if you want to come and see really funny comedians alongside some very tasty vegan food, come and check it out. We're doing gigs literally all over the north, in the Midlands, and a couple down south as well.
I assume during
in Scotland.
I assume during the interval of these vegan gigs, you sacrifice animals.
Oh yeah, just really appeal to you, really.
Yeah.
Also, we're doing lots in the Midlands now. We've got one in Leicester, we've got one in Coventry. Guess where we got one on the 11th of October?
Nottingham!
We've got one in Nottingham.
11th of October, check it out, Nottinghammers.
Do you want to come along? It'd be good. And we can personally offend the audience.
I would, but I'm actually on holiday then.
Are you actually?
Yeah, that's when I'm in Jordan.
Oh, who's Jordan? So, I bid you a farewell. Oh wait, before you do that, give us 5 stars on iTunes, you swine.
Yeah, God, give us 5 stars.
Yeah, how rude is it that they listen to 31 episodes and haven't even given us 5 stars yet? And we know we're talking to you. We know you're talking to you. Not you, thank you for reviewing us, I do appreciate that. But you, oh, you're a piece of work, not giving us 5 stars. How dare... Tell them off, Dan.
Yeah, you, Sophie, I know you're listening and you didn't give us 5-star reviews.
I didn't mean make it personal, but...
Oh, sorry, Sophie.
But yes, Sophie, please pick up the slack.
Anyone listening called Sophie, it's on you.
Yeah. Or any Toms in the group.
Any Toms. They are all legends, though, all of them.
Apart from one.
Apart from one.
We know what he did.
He knows who he is.
Yeah. All we're saying is, turn it down, Tom. Turn it down. Anyway, maybe Tom and Sophie should get together.
Yeah, any Toms or Sophies listening, email us and we'll put you up together.
Can we do a matchmaking service?
Email you, yeah.
What? Right, well, we're going to run a...
MIFF matches.
MIFF matches. Because who doesn't want to get paired by 2 people who can't get paired anyway?
Yeah, I think we'd be great.
So, if you email us in your...
favourite MIFFs, and then people with the same favourite MIFFs, we get you to meet. And then you can be lovers.
What would be the
also, do mention your sexual preference. I don't want to be that guy that, I mean, I don't know.
It's the 21st century?
It's the 21st century.
What would be the creepiest myths to say your favourite is? Because I think if 2 people put Oedipus, they're probably going to be in the same family, aren't they?
Yeah, same. Yeah, Oedipus. Yeah. You guys are actually half brother and sister. But technically also cousins. I think Pygmalion would be a weird one. I think if you like that, and Narcissus isn't a great one either.
Yeah, actually, that does ring alarm bells, doesn't it?
What is your favourite myth, Matt? Go on. Of all the 31 we've done so far,
we have had such a good selection. I think Hercules was one of my favourites. I also really enjoyed doing Romulus and Remus as well. Bellerophon was really good as well. Yeah, some of them and Kronos as well. I think Kronos is one of my favourites.
Kronos was a good one.
How about you, Dan?
Mine's Juno, as is evident by lots of people. Kronos. House of Pelops, one of my favourites.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
that.
House of Pelops.
Yeah.
It was the one with the...
We're in my car, yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's important to know, talking about Troy, because Agamemnon's from the House of Pelops, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Actually, yeah. Well,
just saying.
Why they're both cursed.
That's why they're cursed, but we'll get to that at a later date.
We will get to that on a later date. However, listeners, fine listeners, we will see you next week, where we will cruise into your ear canals and say thank you for listening, and see you next week.
Yeah. Wobble bob bob, everybody.
What?
That's my new catchphrase now.
That seems eerily similar to Rick and Morty. So,
is it?
Well,
I was actually doing it off Neil in the In-Betweeners when he goes to ask what the time is and he's like, wobble bob bob.
It sounds like Wubba Lubba Dub Dub from... Anyway, let's not plagiarise. Let's create a brand new farewell. Curry. Curry. It's in the trout.
Oh yeah, in the trout, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Miffs, 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 miffs.
Would you ever have sex with Jordan?
Is it Katie Price?
Yeah.
Probably.
Good. Didn't know where I was going with that.